Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the mini maze contest. Now the name already says it, in this round everybody had to build a maze on a small map. I believe it was with a maximum of 15 by 15 tiles. Now we got 21 finish entries in the end. So in this video I will just start with the one that got last place. And I'll show all of them until finally we reach the winner of the round. So let's start off with the one that got last place. Alright, in last place here we have the entry from TerrorHenk. Now what's really funny about this entry is that he actually modified the palette so that the guests are walking around with red hair. And he also put a cool dude here. I believe this is the Rickroll maze, and he actually tried to recreate the scene from Never Gonna Give You Up. And when you open up the map you can also see all these custom messages here at the bottom of the screen. They're actually the lyrics from Never Gonna Give You Up, but slightly modified to actually be applicable to our Discord server. So yeah, quite a funny entry, but of course there's not much decoration going on, not much in the form of scenery, so that's why it got last place. But still, it made me laugh. So yeah, that's at least a good part about this entry. Alright, then we have the entry from Willow 536. Now he made this corn maze here, corn on the cob it's called, right next to this little farm and some farmland here. I kind of like this farmland here. Also this barn is kind of nice. Also I like this building here. For this plane, well, if you have a plane going around in the sky, it's probably a good idea to either put it on an infinite track or to let it do multiple circuits. Because right now it looks kind of silly. It just does what it does. And then here it will wait for a while before going on the next lap. So yeah, that's probably something to take into account next time. As for the maze, yeah, it's I think it's kind of nice. But yeah, not really special. It is decorated a bit. You can find the treasure chest here. Not sure if the guests can actually reach this area. Oh, I think they can. And there's also some pirate flags here. Not really sure how the pirate flags apply to the theme here. And these other decorations, I'm not really sure as well. I think it could have definitely used some nicer decorations. Maybe a little building here in the middle or something. I think that would have definitely made the maze stand out a bit more. But still, not a bad effort, and I like the little farm theme he made. Alright, here's the entry from Andrewrst. I hope I pronounced that correctly. There's currently no people in the maze, but I'm sure they will come. So yeah, this entry is in a bit of a jungle here. Now, when you make a jungle, definitely it's a bad idea to just stick to the jungle trees. Usually it will look much nicer if you mix them with some normal trees, especially if you bury those trees. So for example, I'll give an sample here. For example, the weeping willow tree, when you're in the jungle setting, it will look great when you bury it into the ground slightly. And it will make for some really nice bushes. There's also some really nice ferns here in the giant garden set. They also work really well in a jungle setting. I think placing lots of these will definitely make your foliage look nicer. So don't forget to disable clearance checks, and it will definitely make your plants stand out more. It will look much nicer than how it was done here. Now, other than that, I think the paths could have been decorated a little bit more. The maze is kind of nice, although I think the layout of the maze doesn't really make much sense. There's a lot of choices the guests can make here. I think the only reason they don't complain that they want to get out of the maze is that quite a few paths actually lead to the exit. I think it would have been nicer if, like the maze that come with the game, there would have been some longer corridors for the guests to walk through. Now what I do like is these little buildings here. At least they look quite nice in my opinion. So nice job. Oh, and don't forget, you can also hide these park fences by selecting this tile in Tile Inspector, going to the surface, and then there's a button, Remove Park Fences. I think that's always a nice thing to do. Alright, here's the entry from KCJ. Lots of newcomers in this round. I always love having lots of newcomers. These mini contests are a great way for people to get acquainted with our server. So, you might be wondering where's the maze, but it's actually inside the building here. I like how it's incorporated here. That's quite neat. There's also a guard walking around here. Now, it might be a good idea to not have grass inside the building. I typically try to use a different texture inside the building if I can. There's also a big bridge here in the sky with a train on top. It looks a bit flimsy though. I probably would have added some wooden coaster track under the... Well, the wooden coaster is not... Oh wait, here it is. So let's allow building at invalid track heights. Disable clearance check. And I think the mine train and the wooden coaster are typically a really nice combination, and they'll make the track look a lot beefier, especially if you have bridges that are high above the ground, and also give some nicer supports. That might be something to take into account. Now, there are some other decorations. There's a little lift here, but other than that, it's mostly just grass and some trees. Yeah, your entry will usually get rated much better if you really do more work on the exterior area or on the surroundings. I think it could have used some extra trees, some extra buildings, just anything to make the landscaping look more interesting. Alright, here's the entry from Willby. Now, he made a little cutout of a park. Here you can see part of a train. Here's some other buildings, a little boat here. And here you can see the maze. It actually looks like two mazes, but yeah, it looks like there's actually two mazes pasted over one another. And that's why one part of this maze actually has a different texture than the other. I also like that he incorporated this little chessboard here in the middle. Now, not really sure if this... well, I like the gimmick. Not really sure if it's a nice idea. I think it would have looked better if it just looked like this. Also, he should probably named this this second maze. Anything is better than maze 1. But yeah, what I do really like is the trees around here. These trees, I think they were done really well. It's a really nice mixture of trees. It looks nice and dense, and yeah, also some bushes and stuff around it just to make it look more dense. Here's a bit more of a cutout, little seating area. So yeah, definitely some nice stuff in this entry. Alright, here's the entry from ricardowordo. Now, if you've seen Star Wars movies, you may recognize this guy. This is actually Mace Windu. So it's actually a pun on the name Mace Windu. So he recreated this character's face in pixel art, and he also gave him a purple lightsaber like in the movies. And of course there's also a maze going around here. Well, the maze really isn't that much special. It had some really long dead ends, but Ricardo blocked those off because the guests weren't able to get around it much, and a lot of them complained that they couldn't get out. But with these dead ends blocked off, it is actually alright for the guests. But yeah, I really like the pun on the name Mace Windu. Kinda funny. But other than that, there's not really much going on in this map. But yeah, it was a really funny entry. Alright, here's the entry from OrigamiPhoenix. I believe he recreated a scene from Devil May Cry 5, I believe. Well, sadly, I am not familiar with that series myself, but yeah, I do really like this giant statue that he made here with all these, what are they, roots or tentacles, whatever they are. I believe this is a face mask, not sure, or oh wait, no, this is something he's holding in his hand, and this is actually the face. So yeah, I should probably look up what scene this is. But for sure, I think all this track texture is really impressive. Yeah, he also put a little maze in front, and sadly that maze isn't very impressive, I think. It's a really small maze. Why Hilbert curve? Not really sure. It might have something to do with the Devil May Cry series. Not sure. But yeah, the maze itself definitely isn't as impressive as the statue. So that's probably why it ranks quite low among the entries. But still, I'm really impressed by all the stuff he put together here. This looks amazing. Well done. Alright, here's the entry from Astroturdzz 22. He made a little autumn palette. So you can see all these trees have these red, yellow and orange colors. And right here there's a maze using the wood texture or the corn texture. Maze kind of looks a little bit chaotic. Not really sure about the shape of it. It does have some nice decorations in it. There's some pumpkins, also some trees in the middle. And there's even a bridge with a lot of fire on the sides. Not really sure how safe this would be. But it definitely makes the maze more exciting for the guests. And here there's a cute little building. So yeah, lots of wood used in the buildings. Large amount of roofs. I kind of like the structure used here for the balcony. And on the back side the building is open so you can look inside. Now, when you use this texture, the wooden walls for the buildings, it's usually a good idea to not also use the wooden floors inside the building, especially not in the same color. Because right now everything just looks like, everything now just has the same color and texture, and that really just makes stuff look bland. So when you're making a building, always make sure to use a different texture for the floor and for the walls. It will make your building look much nicer. Alright, here's the entry from Darkoro. Darkoro made this entry called Cruella's Keep. So yeah, you can see this maze here going through this little castle, passing through these 4 towers. Yeah, the maze looks a little bit the same. So you have these long corridors extending from all the towers. Not really sure where the entrance is. Probably over here. The exit is over here. But yeah, when you rotate the map, it looks very symmetrical. Yeah, it's usually a good idea not to make your map too symmetrical. It will usually look much nicer if there's a little bit of difference. Even if it's symmetrical, for example, if you gave all the 4 towers a different spire, it's much more inspiring. But still, I do kind of like the color choices. I love the usage of lots of black and red throughout the entry. That's really nice. Some nice layering here as well on the walls. So these are the pirate walls with glass in front. Also lots of other abstract pieces used. I also really like how we made the arches here under these bridges. So yeah, lots of nice stuff here, but a little bit too symmetrical in my opinion. But still, I do enjoy what was built here. Nice job. Alright, here we have the entry from Lurker. Now I really enjoy this entry. You can see a big maze here. Actually, it looks like a difficult maze here, but actually there's just lots of corridors where the guests just zigzag. Now, I think it's decorated in a really nice way. I believe he went for the Hanging Gardens theme. I really enjoy all these buildings here with the maze going under them, and with lots of plants above the guests. And the guests are also walking around the maze here. So yeah, I really enjoyed this entry. It looks really nice from all sides. Although, again, it all does look a little bit the same from whichever side you look from. But still, this looks really nice. I think what would have made it even better was maybe some little shops, also with names relevant to the theme, or maybe even some entertainers or named handyman even. But still, this is a very nice entry with some really great landscaping, and and the trees are also done in a really nice way. Alright, here we have the entry from Mickandy89. Now, I really like the way he did this entry. I already showed this castle in the beginning of the video. I think it works really well here in the middle of these 4 towers on top of this castle roof. It's a lot framed by all these trees here. Also like that he put some of the gardens and the trees here in the middle of the maze. I think that's really nicely done. Also like the drawbridge that he made here. And even the expansion towers, I think they were used in a nice way here. It's sometimes difficult to use these expansion pieces in a nice way, but I think it's done pretty well here. Now, again, what I think would have made it even better is maybe some night entertainers, for example, just to set the mood a bit more. And for example, it could have also maybe used a few shops or something that were named in the style of this theme. But still, I think this is a very nice entry, and he made the castle pieces work really well here. Sadly, it is a little bit glitchy in some places though, but yeah, it's not always visible from all angles. Still, very nice job here. Alright, here's the entry from Comrade Chris. So yeah, here we have this maze. It really reminds me of the one I made in my mega park. Kind of has the same shape. So I guess probably just yeah, it's not even really a maze. I guess just follow the path and spiral back and forth a few times, and before finally they reach the exit of the ride, which is probably over here. The park also has a really nice welcome sign saying "Good day, cunts." Very classy. I do really like these buildings that he made here. I believe he copied them from someone else's entry, but I think he did a really great job at copying these buildings because they look really good. Now, there's also some stuff hidden underground. Not really sure if I can show this. I've probably shown enough already. So yeah, definitely go check this out for yourself. Alright, here's the entry from Tyry. He also went for a Hanging Gardens theme or a tropical island, but still this looks very nice. So here the maze is not in the middle, but it actually goes around the island, and he actually used an invisible maze. So it looks like the guests are walking here on these paths, but yeah, they're actually just corridors in an invisible maze. I think he did a really good job at this. He decorated all these corridors nicely, lots of plants. Yeah, it actually looks believable as a maze. I think this would work quite well. So yeah, I really enjoy seeing the guests go around this maze here. It's decorated really nicely. I love how he did all the trees, and also how he built the castle here in the middle, and also these little red and yellow tents. I think they really yeah, help make it not look too symmetrical. So yeah, really nice work from Tyry. Alright, here's the entry from Ulvenwood. Now he also went for a completely different theme. So he actually went for a prison escape theme. So yeah, I love how he made this this big prison building. You can see the sign "Prison Escape" here. There's a bit of an arch over the entrance. This is where the guests queue up to enter the maze. Some little food and drink stalls here. And then when we use the cutaway view, we can actually look inside the castle. I believe this is the height at which we should be looking, but we could also look at this height, and you can also see the security guards walking around here, and the guests trying to avoid the security guard and try to find their way through the building without getting caught. So yeah, I think this is a very original theme. I really like seeing these guests go around here, and all these frozen security guards here which by the way are all named after members on my Discord. So it's always a nice way to add some interaction to the park with the other members of the Discord. I'm sure many people will enjoy spotting themselves in the park. So yeah, really a unique theme, and I really like it. Yeah, also this is just a maze here, again with the maze pieces actually having been made invisible. So it's I think that's a really good way to use a maze in your park. Alright, here's the entry from AJ. Now AJ did a really nice job on this building, I think. I believe it's a building from Stranger Things. I believe it was themed after that. If you look underground here, you can actually see a basement with a lab technician and lots of what are they, tendrils and yeah, red tendrils as well. I'm not familiar with this series, sadly, so I probably won't get some of the references. Now here on this floor you can see the guests just walking around, and I believe you can see them queuing here on the stairs. I believe this is actually where the invisible maze is. So what's it called? Hawkins Lab. So yeah, I guess the guests just walk through this lab here. Well, it doesn't really look like there's really a maze here. I guess he just used the maze as sort of a walk through the lab. Yeah, it might have been more interesting if there were actually some more walls, and if it actually looked a little bit more like the guests had to find their way through here. And if this is a lab, it might have used, yeah, maybe it could have used a little bit more decorations to make it look a little bit more like a lab. But still, I think this is a very interesting building at least. And you can also go up through the floors. You can see more pipes here. There's also some lab workers. Also at the top of the building, I think it looks really nice. So yeah, this really decorated very well. I just wish that there was a little bit more of a maze going on here. Okay, here we have the entry from Manticore 007. Now he made this huge temple here, and this is really impressive. It's usually quite difficult to make enormous buildings look good in this game. I think he did a nice job at it, even though it is quite glitchy in many spots. But still, yeah, very impressive work here. Now if we look inside the temple, where's the cutaway view? Here it is. There we go. So here you can see a long, well, yeah, a very long maze, or well, a maze with a very long path at least. So I guess enter here. I don't remember exactly what the story was. It was about several people being allowed in the maze, where there's apparently also a Minotaur, and not really sure what was the end goal. Probably some treasure, but in the end they will actually drop down in the void here to get sacrificed. You can see a Minotaur statue here, and some other gods as well, probably. So yeah, I really enjoyed the story of this entry. It's clear he spent a lot of time on it, and yeah, the building also looks really impressive. So yeah, just a little bit sad that it's so glitchy, but still, this is a very impressive looking building. Great job. Alright, here's the entry from Major Craving. This was one of my favorites for sure. He made this little vineyard, and I should probably say. So yeah, what I really enjoyed about this was that he actually called the maze guided tour, and the story said something that the people should stick to the, yeah, should stay close to the guide, or else they could get lost in the maze. So it's quite funny to see the guide walking around here, and all the guests just walking through this maze everywhere. They're probably lost. But yeah, I really enjoyed this entry. I love the way he made this maze look. Yeah, it really these buildings, they also look really nice. Like how we used the pizza stalls for roofs here. These colors, I think they work together really well, and yeah, it's all just very pleasant to look at. So some nice details here and there, and I love this aqueduct as well. So yeah, just a really nice entry to look at. Really nice details everywhere, and yeah, very pleasing to the eyes. Alright, here's the entry from Andrewrst Dv. Now sadly, I had to take off 1 point from his score because he used custom scenery. Now sometimes I'm quite lenient on that, but it is actually quite visible because he used it on the paths here inside the barn. So yeah, sadly I couldn't just let it go because custom scenery in the parks is not allowed. But still, this is a very impressive entry. Well, the Dutch people may recognize this. I believe this is the John Deere logo, and there's this video from a Dutch news guy from the east of the country, from a farming town, and while he's telling everyone what the weather for the next day is gonna be, suddenly he gets distracted by a John Deere tractor. He goes like, "Whoa!" But yeah, it's quite a famous video in the Netherlands, and on our Discord we have quite a few people who are a fan of that video. So Andrewrst Dv, he decided to do something with that. So this is actually quite a funny entry. Again, he used the same trick that Robby Hood used in his bobsleigh contest entry. So he placed all these diagonal pieces, and with some tile inspector magic, these pieces are all only visible from one angle. I'll probably make a tutorial at one point on how to do something like this. But yeah, I believe it's only possible with diagonal track pieces. But yeah, this is a very impressive looking text on top, and this logo is also very impressive. Now, I also really like the buildings that he put here. These buildings look really nice, and really nice farm buildings. And I also love the way he made these John Deere tractors. Now, there's also a maze here. The maze itself, not that impressive, but I like how it spells out the text from the video here. Mean medic. So yeah, very funny entry in my opinion. I also really like how he decorated the side of this plot with all these pieces here. You can see, we see that more often now in entries, and I really enjoy when people do that. So yeah, very pleasing entry, but yeah, next time please make sure not to use any custom scenery, because it can really hurt your score. Okay, here's the entry from DededeRobbie. He made this big scarecrow here. I really like the way this scarecrow looks. I also like how he used these coaster cars for teeth. He probably got some help from Jens for that, or at least took inspiration, because Jens always likes to do this. But either way, it's always a neat trick. Also these birds flying around. It's also you see Jens too often. But still, DededeRobbie used it in a great way here. Now, I also really like this palette. It's the Autumn palette from Swarmod. I really like the color of the water in this palette. It's like grayish water, and it makes this waterfall here look really nice. So some really nice plants throughout. I love the used colors here. Building also looks really nice, and of course there's also the maze here. And yeah, I think the maze looks really good. It's decorated nicely. Lots of decorations throughout the maze, and yeah, it just makes the maze look very interesting. There's just nice little details here throughout the park, and I really enjoy that. It really grabs your attention, and yeah, it just keeps you looking everywhere, trying to discover fun stuff in the park. So yeah, definitely a great park from DededeRobbie, and I hope to see him join in more contests, because this is really nice work. Alright, then there's just 2 parks remaining. I will first show both of these parks, and after that I will reveal which park or which person was the winner of this round. So here's the entry from Maxa. So he made this Japanese village, I believe. You can see all these buildings here. He used a nighttime palette, so the park is pretty dark, but the yellow and I believe some other colors as well are still highlighted. I think that makes for a very interesting looking park. I like how he made some of these glass walls yellow to make it look like there's a light shining inside there. So I like how he made this roto drop here, which is stopped here at the top. Also looks kind of interesting. Dotonbori drop. Now, also some parked cars here, even a helicopter, only in Japan. So very interesting speeds which it's traveling at. Not sure if that's right. So yeah, let's take a look at the maze itself. For that we'll have to use the cutaway view. So here you can see the maze going through this building here, and even passes over this little glass, or this part of the building with the glass floor here. But yeah, really nice work on these buildings, great work on the scenery, and yeah, I really enjoy watching this in the nighttime palette. Alright, and here's the final entry. This entry is made by Robby Hood, and well, of course, I think most people will recognize this. This actually looks like the Pac-Man arena, or the Pac-Man maze, one of the most famous mazes of them all. So yeah, I really love how he made this. Again, it's just like the logo that Lars Dv made with the text above. These are all diagonal track pieces, so they can only be seen from one angle. No clue how he made this. There's probably some stuff going on with the palette as well. Yeah, it's just incredible how he did this. I love how recognizable this entry is, and of course also this Pac-Man that he made here. It's also a really cool detail. It's like a 3D cinema here, and part of it is just blocked out by a palette. There's just a black tile palette. But yeah, for sure, this entry again is so creative. I love the way he made this, and I love the way he made all these guests. Go through the maze without passing through any of these walls. I'm very impressed by how he did this. So, by the way, yeah, like I already said earlier, not actually sure if I said it earlier, but you can download all these parks for yourself from my Discord server. There's a channel in my Discord called Mini Contest Archive. And in that channel you can download all the entries from all previous rounds. So you can also download this map here, and then you can try and find out how Robby Hood did this. But yeah, I'm really impressed by this great work from Robby Hood. Alright, now it's time for me to reveal who is the winner of this round. So, the winner of the 9th mini contest is... Robby Hood. Well, it's probably no surprise. This one was clearly better than most of the other ones. Lars Dv, he actually got close to the score of this round, but sadly he used the custom path, so I had to take some of his points off, sadly. But still, I'm really impressed by a lot of these mazes from this round. You guys are so creative. It baffles me every time. So I'll probably start a new contest sometime in the coming few days. I hope to see many more people join these contests. If you want to join one of these contests, simply become a member on my Discord. It's completely free. You can find the link to my Discord in the video description. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching all these entries, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.